Hi everyone. Today, I have a fascinating story of resilience, vision, and pure determination. It's set in the 1950s, during the post-World War II tech boom, a time when new ideas were everywhere, but not everyone was open to them. So sit back and let's dive into this incredible journey of one young scientist who refused to give up on his dream. Alright, so our story centers around a young inventor named Leo Hayes. Leo was one of those people who was always curious, always pushing boundaries, even as a kid. While other kids were building model airplanes, Leo was out in his dad's garage, tinkering with radio parts, trying to figure out how everything worked. His passion became electricity. He wanted to harness it in a way that could change everyone's lives. After graduating with top honors in engineering, Leo moved to New York City to join the bustling world of technology. It was the post-World War II tech boom. Remember, radios, early televisions, and even the concept of computers was starting to make waves. It was a time for dreamers and doers, and Leo was both. Leo had this wild idea. He wanted to create a device that would make communication instant, reliable, and affordable for everyone. In his mind, he pictured something that could fit in anyone's pocket, maybe even something like the early concept of what we might think of as a modern cell phone. Crazy, right? But Leo didn't see it that way. He believed that people would want a device they could carry anywhere, that would let them talk to anyone, anytime. His dream was big, but he had no intention of backing down. But here's the thing. The 1950s weren't exactly ready for Leo's idea. Every time he presented it to potential investors, they'd just laugh or shake their heads. Some said, "What would anyone do with a personal communication device?" Or, "Leo, stick to the real world. No one's going to invest in fantasy." The more he tried to explain, the more he faced rejection. People saw him as this eccentric young man with impossible dreams, and soon enough, doors started closing on him before he even knocked. Now, here's the part where most people would probably give up. I mean, just imagine. You have a dream that you're convinced could change the world, but no one's willing to take a chance on you. Leo could have easily moved on to a safer job in one of the many tech firms popping up at that time. But, of course, that wasn't Leo. He kept at it, pouring every ounce of his savings into materials, sketching designs, and building prototypes. Night after night, he'd stay up in his small apartment, testing his models and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. His friends worried about him, but he just couldn't let go of his vision. Then, one evening, when Leo was nearly out of funds and out of hope, he met a retired engineer at a local dinner. They started chatting, and the man, who was intrigued by Leo's passion, invited him to his workshop. This engineer, named Mr. Wallace, saw something in Leo that no one else did. A spark, a vision. He didn't have much, but he offered Leo his tools, his support, and, most importantly, his encouragement. With Mr. Wallace's help, Leo worked tirelessly, fueled by his passion and a glimmer of hope. And finally, after months of hard work, they built the first working prototype of what Leo called the pocket radio communicator. This device was still rough around the edges, but it worked. It could send signals over short distances, something no one had ever done on such a small scale. Now, this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Leo knew he still had to prove his invention's worth, so he went straight to the New York Times with his prototype. At first, they were skeptical, but when he demonstrated how it worked, their skepticism turned to awe. The paper ran a story about the young scientist with a vision for the future, and it caught the attention of some key players in the tech industry. Soon enough, companies that had once turned him away started calling, eager to invest. Leo secured funding, set up a small lab, and over the years, he kept improving his invention, refining it, making it more compact and powerful. By the early 1960s, his invention revolutionized communication technology, laying the groundwork for what we'd one day recognize as the portable communication devices we rely on every day. And that's how Leo Hayes, the young inventor who everyone thought was chasing a fantasy, became a pioneer in communication technology. His device didn't just make life easier, it connected people, brought families closer, and made it possible for businesses to operate in ways they never had before. Leo had a vision, and despite every rejection, he held on to it, because he believed in his dream with all his heart. Now, imagine if he had given up after the first, or the second, or even the 20th rejection. Imagine if he had let all those voices of doubt stop him. His story is a reminder to all of us that perseverance and belief in our vision can overcome any obstacle. Leo's journey wasn't easy, but it shows that if you have a dream and the drive to chase it, you can make the impossible too possible. So, the next time someone tells you your dream is unrealistic, remember Leo Hayes. Remember that every big idea sounds impossible until someone actually does it. And maybe, just maybe, that someone could be you. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this story inspired you as much as it inspired me. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of people who change the world through sheer determination. And remember, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep pushing forward. Until next time, stay motivated and stay inspired.